Hi Angels, this will be the chapters 26 of You Are My Heroes by Lavender Thoughts 21 on AO3, Happy Meal for Sad Faces, Ding Dong. The doorbell caught everyone's attention. Since the boys fell asleep in the middle of the documentary about All Might, Aizawa decided to play it from the middle again. Aizawa got up from the armchair and answered the door, and to his uneasiness, the same delivery girl from the other day was standing there. Nice to see you again, Mr. Aizawa. I got your order here. The woman smiled sheepishly, seeing the man's discomfort. 3 times is a pattern. Are you the only delivery person in the area? Aizawa asked, grabbing the McDonald's bags from the woman. No, there's a few others in this specific area. I work deliveries on multiple apps, and I put myself to work a lot of hours. I plan on starting college during the fall, and I'm working hard now, so I don't have to work during school. I promise this is just a coincidence. I say yes to every delivery request I get. If you would like, I won't accept deliveries from your house anymore. The woman spoke fast in growing anxiety, grabbing her arm in a firm grasp nervously. No, it's fine. I'm glad to have a hard-working person handle my deliveries, and you've been doing a good job so far. I'm sorry if I seem rude. Thank you for your service, miss. Aizawa apologized, but her answer provided some relief that she wasn't a stalker. You can call me Kay. The woman smiled and stood straight, offering her hand for a handshake. Aizawa shook her hand with a nod. Thanks again. Maybe I'll see you again. Aizawa politely said goodbye to the woman, looking forward to serving again. I hope your sons love the meal. I know some guys who worked in the McDonald's, so they put extra toys in there, free of charge. Bye, Kay said quickly, waving at the boys who were staring from the living room. I appreciate it. I'll leave you a nice tip on the app. Aizawa smiled at the sentiment and closed the door softly. Extra toys? Izuku hopped off the couch along with Bakugo. The 2 of them scampered to the kitchen, as Aizawa sat down the food on the dining table. Yeah, but eat your food first, then you can open the toys, Aizawa told them as they sat themselves down on the table. Izuku was sitting on his seat, his right foot repeatedly stomping on the footrest under him, while his hands gripped the table mat. Bakugo was also excited, staring wide-eyed at the McDonald's box, the classic red box with the smile, but on one of the sides it showed multiple hero figurines they couldn't. All Might being the rarest. There's All Might, Endeavor, the Crimson Riot. So many hero toys can get, Izuku said some of the heroes on the box, his eyes shining at the possibility of which toy he would get. Remember, eat first, Aizawa said again, setting down a divider plate in front of Midoriya and a regular plate in front of Bakugo. But don't eat too fast, Aizawa warned, looking specifically at the blonde, who grumbled in annoyance. The man put the food on their plates, a main course of a cheeseburger, a side of fries, apple slices, and an apple juice box on the side. I got some extra chicken nuggets, for you too. Midoriya, do you need another plate for it? Aizawa questioned, taking out a 20-piece from the McDonald's bag. The green-haired boy nodded, not wanting to touch the whole box or overstock his first plate. Replying to the boy's request, Aizawa grabbed a smaller side plate and put down a couple of chicken nuggets on it. You good with your plate, Bakugo? Aizawa questioned the boy, who grabbed the chicken nuggets to put on his plate, not caring that he was stacking food. Seeing that Bakugo ignored his question, Aizawa assumed everything was fine and went back to handing out the food. The man got out the condiments next, taking out 3 tangy BBQ sauces and opening it up to put it next to the boys' plates. Ketchup, Aizawa asked Midoriya, and the boy frowned. Can it be like this one? Midoriya asked, pointing to the BBQ sauce. Aizawa understood immediately that the boy wanted to dip it, not have it squeezed on his fries. Yeah, I can do that, Aizawa told him, grabbing a dip bowl he had for soy sauce, and instead putting the ketchup in there. Voila! Everything good? Aizawa asked, not bothering with Bakugo's ketchup, because the boy was already opening the packet himself to pour onto his fries. Thank you, Mr. Aizawa. Izuku clapped his hands as he stared at his carefully constructed plate, a soft, delighted squeal escaping his lips. Thanks, Mr. Aizawa, Bakugo said, forgetting the T in Mr. as he spoke in a quick, rushed sentence. The blonde swallowed as he began to drool, anticipating the first bite of his first ever happy meal. It wasn't till Izuku took the first bite of cheeseburger that Katsuki began to hurriedly eat afterward. Aizawa thought back to the other meals, questioning whether Bakugo always waited for Izuku before, or if this was just a coincidence. It wouldn't be surprising if the blonde felt better about eating if the green one ate first. Bakugo's first bite of McDonald's was a chicken nugget dipped in their signature tangy BBQ sauce. His crimson eyes lit up as he chewed, putting the whole nugget in his mouth as he realized how delicious it was. Bakugo couldn't help but express how yummy he thought the food was. Both his fists softly pressed against his chest as he closed his eyes and swayed from side to side. Aizawa couldn't help but chuckle at the new stim the food inspired Bakugo to show for the first time here. Katsuki stopped moving the instant he heard Aizawa chuckle, opening his eyes and putting his hands down. There was a sadness to replace the joy that was in his eyes moments ago. Bakugo muttered an apology under his breath as he straightened himself out to continue eating his food. "Quiet hands?" Izuku questioned as he stopped the tapping he was doing with his fingers on the table. His hands instinctively stopped what they were doing and pulled back to rest on his lap. No quiet hands. I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable. I didn't mean to make you self-conscious, Bakugo. Please enjoy the food. Aizawa apologized immediately, taking a note not to chuckle when they stim. Auntie always made us play that game. I don't like it. Izuku continued his tapping on the table as he continued taking small bites of his cheeseburger. Bakugo moved from the nuggets and instead grabbed some fries, the light returning to his eyes as he bit into it. Still, he restrained to stim again. It was a game, Aizawa asked. Yeah, Auntie gets mad if I don't play good. Bakugo, teach me how to play it like red light game. I think Auntie was mean, but she said we looked stupid, and she doesn't want anyone saying stupid to us. Izuku told Aizawa with a distant look in his eyes as he remembered the beginning months of staying with his auntie. "Oh!" was all Aizawa could muster up to say. The anger rose to his chest, but he let it stay there, not wanting to frighten the kids with his angry eyes again. "Do you like the food?" Aizawa decided to ask to kick out the negative thoughts in Midoriya's mind. "Yeah." Izuku took another bite of his cheeseburger, the light returning to his eyes as he looked back at Katsuki, who took a bite of his own burger. For once the blonde was savoring his food with calm, slow bites. Aizawa took out his food from another McDonald's bag, a spicy McChicken, his favorite order from the fast food company. However, as soon as he unwrapped it, a pair of crimson eyes set its sights curiously on his plate. "Orange burger?" Katsuki questioned softly, not sure if he was allowed to speak, just like Izuku did. "It's a spicy chicken sandwich. Do you know what spicy is?" Aizawa questioned the boy, and he shook his head. "No, it burns a little bit." "Do you want to try a small bite?" Aizawa asked, even though he was sure the kid wouldn't like it, since most kids hated spicy things at their age. Still, Bakugo nodded, being brave enough to try something new. Aizawa tore off a little piece with his fingers, handing it to Bakugo, who grabbed it with hesitation. The boy sniffed it at first, his nose scrunching at the new smell of spice. Then he popped the tiny piece in his mouth, his face cringing at the new sensation. A soft SSS sound left his mouth as the burning invaded the boy's taste buds. "Spit it out if you don't like it," Aizawa told the boy as he softly sucked in air in an attempt to cool his mouth. But Bakugo shook his head no. Bakugo looked up at Aizawa, his eyes shining like stars as he put his hand up to his mouth. The boy patted his mouth softly and nodded. "You liked it?" Aizawa questioned in surprise as Bakugo looked up at him, the boy's usual indifferent expression gone and replaced with a soft pout with puppy dog eyes. "Yummy," Bakugo told the man, his eyes piercing through the sandwich in Aizawa's hand. The man smiled wide, keeping the small laugh in his chest, so he wouldn't make the boy self-conscious again. "You want to trade?" Aizawa asked, and the boy nodded, his hands making fists in his chest. Aizawa switched his spicy sandwich for Bakugo's cheeseburger. The boy instantly took huge bites once he secured the sandwich in his grasp. Izuku looked on as he ate his burger. Tiny bites encircled the bun, and he was eating in a circle pattern. "Drink juice so the burn goes away," Aizawa told the blonde, who was sucking in the air more harshly as the hotness exceeded. Bakugo listened, taking a swig of his juice, but immediately taking another bite. It took everything for Aizawa to put on a straight face. He found it funny the way the boy was pushing himself to eat the spicy sandwich. Discreetly, Aizawa took out his phone and took a short video of Bakugo taking a bite and huffing at spicy overtaking his mouth. Quickly the boy drank his juice, but took another bite afterwards. Ending the recording, Aizawa instinctively nearly sent it to Hisashi, but caught himself instead. He sent it to Taishiro. The Happy Meal worked as planned, the boys happily eating their meal, with smiles pairing the boxes. The man found the cheeseburger small, but it was worth it to see Bakugo experience something new and enjoy it. This moment with the blonde was something Aizawa cherished most about raising children. The moment when they try and discover something new about them that they love. Bakugo unlocked a new tidbit about himself, that he liked spicy food, or at the very least that specific spicy chicken sandwich. The man always found children's psychology interesting, learning how people grow and find themselves through small moments like these. In another life, he thought about being a counselor, or even a teacher. "Can we open the toys now?" Izuku asked when he finished the last bite of his fries. Bakugo had already finished a while ago, but waited patiently, playing with the textured food mats again. "Yeah, let's see which heroes you guys got." Aizawa said excitedly as he pushed their respective boxes closer to them so they could pull out their mystery gift. The boys hurriedly grabbed the box and pulled out a small white plastic bag. No markings to keep the hero a mystery. They pulled on the plastic, using their teeth to pull apart the plastic. All Might, they yelled out in unison as they pulled out tiny All Might figures from the bag. After a second of bewildered faces, they both squealed in excitement of getting their favorite hero. Midoriya held the tiny figure close to his chest and smiled wide, tears at the side of his eyes in overwhelming excitement. Bakugo also had a wide, open-mouthed smile, instead standing in his seat to proudly show off the All Might figure in the air. Shamelessly, Aizawa took out his phone to take another picture, their faces being too cute not to share with his colleague. Kaken! All Might! All Might! Izuku shook his fists up and down, the All Might figure in hand. All Might! Bakugo mimicked back, practically shoving the figure into Midoriya's face. The boys were visually vibrating as they showed each other their All Mights. Izuku spouted out facts about the hero while Bakugo nodded rapidly with every word the boy said. They were so consumed in the excitement they forgot that there were extra toys in the boxes. Aizawa was distracted from their energy when a call rang from his phone. Anxiety went through the man's body as he questioned if he sent the pictures to the wrong person. A wave of relief fell over him as he read the name on the screen. Tashiro Toyomitsu. Hello? Aizawa questioned. Hey buddy, cute pics. I'm glad the boys are coming out of their shells. Since you're good at this kind of stuff, I was wondering if you could bless me with some of your knowledge. Tashiro sounded cheery as always, but there was still a hint of concern in his voice. What are you having trouble with? My boy here is a bit picky with his food. I think he gets anxious whenever I offer him something to eat, saying his dad has him on a specific diet. Does he have allergies or medical? No, that's not it. I checked his records, and he's totally fine. Has he eaten anything? Aizawa asked, concerned for the health of the boy. So far, he will only eat cold soba, his favorite food. The only food he can't turn down. That is concerning. I can call Tsukauchi to look into it. He might be able to contact someone to get specific meals he has eaten before. Wait, I'm not supposed to mention anything, so you might get in trouble asking for me. I'll make the call myself. Thanks for the idea, shout out. How's the kid's eye? Aizawa asked, walking away from his own boys to the living room. Not any worse. I think it's healing nicely, but it will definitely leave a scar. You did your best. I know, but the scar isn't exactly from the initial burn, I think. It looks like someone tried to put ice on it. Oh, then it really isn't your fault. I know, Taishiro sounded sad. One more thing. I was wondering if your kids would be fine with it. They'll like to come over for a play date later. I tried taking Shoto outside to play, but he didn't really know how to. He literally asked me if the playground was some sort of training exercise. Before you say anything, I already reported it. Sounds like he's being conditioned. Aizawa lowered his voice to hide the hostility in his tone. Like I said, I reported it. I know I sent you some happy pictures right now, but my boys had a rough day today. How about tomorrow? They can play in the morning before the hottest part of the day. Sounds good to me. Thanks for the advice. Taishiro bid farewell as he hung up the phone. Aizawa looked back towards the dining table, where the boys were opening the other two mystery figures. Midoriya had opened an Endeavor figure, while Bakugo got the upcoming hero Midnight. Aizawa paused as he saw the dark purple hair and sky blue eyes. The man recognized his classmate from UA from the better half of a decade ago, back when he was training to become a pro hero. After getting his license and starting work studies, he quit that life after a certain accident. Instead, he studied to become a therapist for children who underwent severe trauma, but that wasn't enough. So he became a foster to deal with the child directly. In that way, taking care of children made him feel closer to a certain someone who lost their life-saving children. Aizawa shook the memories from his head, and instead went back to the table. Izuku smiled at the man and held up the number 2 hero, rambling facts he knew about Endeavor. Bakugo was playing with the figures on the table as Izuku rambled. Apparently, Midnight and All Might weren't friendly. It's not like they could make villain toys. Note from Lavander Tots. In this alternate universe, Mr. Aizawa didn't go through with being a hero. Instead, he felt strongly for the children who experienced trauma during Oboro's heroic death. He decided to pursue getting an education in child therapy, work shadow for those specific cases in the accident, but then decided to foster children when he read about how many orphans have been on the rise, since quirks were given to humanity. There's a correlation between quirks appearing to quirk villainy, to kids being parentless due to villainy. Aizawa saw the injustice. Well, that's the story I'm going with to kind of make this universe make sense. Not perfect, but hey, this book was made for comfort, not to make sense of things. This is the end of chapters 26. I'll see you in chapter 27. If you have suggestions, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to know when the next one is out. Have a good day, angels.